welcome back to a brand new episode of the 343 podcast. I'm your host, AF, joined by my trusted co-host, Ziad Parker. Once again, how are you doing, sir?
Yeah, all good, man. All good. Ready to go. Excited by the lineup we have here. So hopefully, I'm not going to be doing too much talking.
Well, let's hope so. The Arsenal is an item on the schedule tonight, so we'll run through that in a bit. But welcome back, Lauren Zealand, aka Cape Town Brew. How are you doing tonight? Are you happy? Are you frustrated? Are you excited?
Evening, how's it going, guys? It's a mixed bag, like it's been this season. We up, we down, we left, we right, we're all over the show. We at each other's throats as well. It's been quite a season off the back of winning the Premier League, eh? Yeah, we here, and we're ready for that Old Trafford fixture.
Ooh, I don't think I'm ready for it, but okay, we'll get into that a little bit later. Also joining us tonight, you might have seen him on the cricket side of our channel a couple of months ago, but he's finally making his debut on the football side. A fellow Man United fan, Khalid Moeddin. How are you doing tonight?
A little bit nervous first football show here, so I'm looking forward to having a conversation with you guys. And Liverpool is always a terrifying fixture for me personally because I have some bad memories against Liverpool if I played against Liverpool. But the last fixture was a good one, so I'm going to take positives from that.
I love that. I love that. I love that. So, Khalid, you've been on the cricket side, but you haven't been on our footy side. And as is customary on our channel over here, when a first timer comes onto the show, they get a bit of an icebreaker. So, if you this is going to be fully Man United centric because you are a United fan. You are at a dinner. You need to pick 3 people in United's history that you want to be at that dinner with you. Who would they be, and what would be the one thing that would stand out for you to ask them?
Yo, that's a difficult one. The last part was a difficult part. The first part was a little bit easier. I would say, hands down, has to be Sir Alex Ferguson. I have to have a dinner with him. Then I have to go with my favorite player of all time, which is David Beckham. I have to have him at the table. And then I need to know a little bit probably more about Man United's history. So I'd want Duncan Ferguson there. I want to hear about the Munich, about what that team was like, that team that was incredible that died in the Munich air crash. I want to know about them, and I want to find out if he really was as brilliant, as people, make out to be. We only have like stories about it. So what I'd ask Duncan obviously would be probably about that era and his teammates and Sir Matt Busby, what he was like. So I'll get a little bit of the first part of Man United's history, and then David Beckham. I mean, I'll just want to ask him what it was like to meet all these celebrities, probably Michael Jackson and all these people. And then I'll probably with Fergie, I just want to know what made him tick, like what it was like to be in an era to rebuild the team to take them from where we were to what we are today. What we were before he retired. So yeah, that will probably be the topic of conversation. Will mostly be football until I go to David Beckham's side. Oh, what it was like to be in that Spice Girls era. Like I mean, the popularity and stuff must be crazy to live with.
I love it. I love it. And I mean, it's quite fitting that we have a Man United Liverpool preview tonight because that's what made Sir Alex tick. He wanted to knock Liverpool off their perch, and that's essentially what he did. What he did by the end of his tenure as manager, his final season, he knocked them off their perch, and that's what he set out to do. But yeah, great answers. Great answers. I love that. Our running order tonight for this episode is we're going to be touching on some of the games of the past weekend. Arsenal getting a win, Spurs and West Ham getting very vital victories and Aston Villa dropping points. And then we're going to pivot over to the Man United versus Liverpool preview. So, good evening to everybody in the chat. If you guys want to let us know anything, if you guys like want to give your opinions and stuff like that, hit us up in the chat and we'll try our best to respond to any of them. If you are new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. If you want to follow us for more things, hit the subscribe, like this video, all of those things, just basic housekeeping rules. Yeah, so straight off the bat, Ziad, how was it? Like a 1-0 victory, it was quite close. It was a lovely goal from Ibe Eze. But how did you feel for the duration of that match? I don't think Newcastle did much to bother you guys in the first half. Things changed in the second half. Run us through the 90 minutes of the weekend.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty much, I haven't been doing too well recently, but we're getting over the line when it matters, I hope so. 1-0, I'll take it. There's always 3 points. Goal difference didn't take a knock, so, things are all okay. That's all you can do is win your games. I mean, there's a lot of talk about how much goals we're scoring and the goal difference situation and so on, but that's all pointless if you end up winning 5-4. It's still +1. So take care of business with the 3 points. And if you do get to a point where goal difference is going to now play an even bigger role, then you have to think about the margin you have to try and win by. But for now, just get the 3 points and move on to the next game. I'm done, but I'm clear. I just want to get to the end now to know, do we win it or do we not win it? If I could fast forward no matter what happens, then just know it's over. But yeah, it's just one of those things, like I always say every week, there's no point discussing it because it's all going to come down to where we end. What happens between now and then doesn't really matter. It's just, do we win it or not? There's nothing else to talk about. So yeah, until we get there, it's just ticking off those boxes and getting the 3 points.
Yeah, that's fair. Lauren, I'm just going to try to get your point of view for Newcastle, for example. It doesn't look like Eddie Howe's doing much to try and further his work within the Newcastle structure at the moment. It seems like he's just trying to be as safe as possible. I'm not saying that he's given up, but I think like losing by 5 goals to 0 compared to losing 1-0, like it seems a bit better. It seems like he's playing a bit safer. That starting 11 against Arsenal, playing Dan Burn at left back, leaving Lewis Hall on the bench, playing Jacob Murphy instead of Harvey Barnes, playing like there's in terms of trying to go and attack out there, it just didn't make much sense for what he's trying to achieve or what the club is trying to achieve. What's your take on Eddie Howe? Do you think that he's reached his ceiling over at Newcastle? There's not much he can do for this team, or do you think it's just a matter of he's gotten a bit too comfortable within the club?
It could be a bit of both. It definitely does feel that ceiling has somewhat come into play. Newcastle have really sort of resurged themselves. They dropped off a good couple of seasons ago. They've really fought back. European football, really a force to be reckoned with. We in the league, teams really started taking notice again when we started playing them. They really started knocking at rivals left, right, and center. But it really feels as if they've dropped off quite significantly. I thought they may have given Arsenal a game on the weekend. But Arsenal just stood steadfast, and it's exactly what I said when we were busy chatting in the green room before the podcast took place. Was Arsenal really had a lot to deal with off the back of that City win last week for them to go top of the log, and it's a rival case of fans and memes and Arteta bottle job and all of that, but they really came through quite nicely on the weekend and with another famous, really resilient win. I think that was one of the most important wins this season was on the weekend. It could have all really slipped in the opposite direction. I have a feeling they'll go on and do the business now after this past weekend. But only time will tell. Newcastle doesn't, that fight and that dog in them, it doesn't seem to be there anymore. They've dropped so far down the league as well. I think they're sitting somewhere in 13th, 14th. And I do feel perhaps they have reached the ceiling with Eddie. He really did reinvigorate the team for quite a good few amount of sort of months over the last season or two, and they've fallen off to the wayside again.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting where they sort of pivot from here, because there's ownership sort of issues at the moment now. Also, will the PIF still be owners of Newcastle? They pulled out of Live Golf. They sort of trying to make decisions on where they're going in terms of the teams that they are investing in. So yeah, I think a lot of those things are going to sort of come to the surface, rise to the surface very soon. Khalid, just gonna drop down a little bit, or not really drop down, but in terms of Man United, Aston Villa dropped some points. So with the game that we're going to be previewing tonight, the Man United Liverpool, that sort of falls United and Liverpool both with some sort of optimism of finishing higher than that fifth spot, because I think I called this like a few weeks ago. I did say that Aston Villa is probably going to drop a bit because they have that European competition that Unai Emery always wins. So they could be like sort of putting all their eggs in one basket with that one, because they win that, they get into Champions League anyway. But yeah, just like, I don't know if you caught the Aston Villa game over the weekend. It wasn't really a great watch, but yeah, just talk to me about like what them dropping points does for that Champions League race.
Yeah, I think that the top four is firmly in United's hands. It should be in United's hands that to win games. I don't think we should rely on other teams, obviously. Obviously that does strengthen the chances, because now we only need 2 points to qualify, to mathematically qualify. So that's a good thing from a United perspective. That's what makes that Liverpool game so interesting, because if we beat Liverpool, then we confirm the place, and it would be nice to do it against Liverpool as well. If we get a draw there, then we have one more draw, and then we need one more draw, basically, to solidify our top four spot. But if Aston Villa wins the Europa, then it's an extra spot, I think, in the Champions League. I think, isn't it?
6.
Yeah. So either way, it's in United's hands. We need to be in control of our own destiny over here. Similarly, like it's in Arsenal's hands, the league. So I think that's where I'm sitting with currently, with United in the top four.
Yeah, like he had Unai Emery, like he has this thing where he gets to the end of the season and he sort of just like loses steam a bit. I don't know if it's like he always has that European competition on the side that sort of saves him in a way. Do you think that if he gets knocked out of the Europa League semi-final stage or whatever, and he's sort of lost some points or some ground in the Premier League as well, do you think his job might be at stake at all with Aston Villa, or do you think that they trust him enough with this project to keep on moving on, even though he sort of stumbled at the position where they needed him not to?
Look, he generally works with a small squad, so this seems to be his thing. And this squad has been a lot smaller than in the past. They've had to rely on the same guys quite often. They also lost their midfield, which I think doesn't help at all. And those guys were key to Aston Villa's performance. I think it was Onana that went down. Then at one point, I think one of their midfielders were also gone. Is it Kamara? He was also injured, right? So the engine room was hit quite hard. Tielemans also tailed off a little, and he had an injury. So I wouldn't be too harsh on Emery. I think he's done well. And in all honesty, where's Villa going to go if they move on from him? That's going to be a sideways step at best. It would actually be a downward step before, and they'd have to kind of start over and move on and I don't think they're ready for that just yet. So I'd stick with Emery, even if he doesn't get over the line here towards the end. They still have a pretty good and experienced squad. They just need some refreshment, I think, in certain areas of the field because they are getting a bit older. They'd probably like someone up front to spell Watkins a bit better. We saw Tammy Abraham come in. He's had a decent effect. It seems like Watkins, he lifts his game when there's another striker to challenge him. It wasn't working when Duran was the guy, but with Tammy Abraham, Daniel Mullen also, before he left, he got a bit out of Watkins. So I think they probably need a couple of reinforcements, maybe in the defensive area, strengthen the midfield a little, and they'll be fine. So even if they don't win the Europa, I think they're pretty solid for the top 5 position. Brighton's in 6th, 8 points behind. Villa will really have to tail off. They have Spurs next, so you could almost put that 3 points in the pocket. And yeah, I think they'll get into the Champions League. But for them to do well next season, I know I'm going a bit ahead here, but they'll need to give him a bit more options in the squad to work with. Otherwise, it's going to be another long season, and you could see them having a season similar to the likes of Newcastle, where playing in the Champions League stretches you out so thin, your league form does take a dip. But yeah, I'd stick with Emery.
Yeah, it's actually a very good segue, like you bringing up Spurs next, because we're actually just going to speak about, and I don't know if Riaz is going to be joining us in the chat or anything like that, but yeah, the Zerbi finally got his first win as manager of Spurs, and Spurs' first win of the calendar year. So the fans were celebrating like they won a trophy. So that was a bit hilarious for the most part. But yeah, like they did the business. They sort of like grinded out that victory. Wolves were knocking at the door quite hard. Khalid, I'm not sure if you caught that game, but yeah, this could be a sign of what the Zerbi can sort of reinvigorate that team with. Everybody knew that he's going to come in with his own ideas. He's going to sort of change the way that they're playing and stuff like that. And it took a couple of weeks for that to sort of translate on the pitch. But yeah, it seems like the players are all more or less on the same wavelength.
Imagine they get relegated after they get to Serbia. That will be funny though. I don't hate Spurs necessarily, but it's just prefer. I like to see other teams what's going on there, or what makes them tick, etc. But I mean, I'm just happy that Zerbi is not coming to United. Because you would have been in the mix for, definitely been in the mix for United. You see, I don't say that I don't think he's a bad manager necessarily. I think he's a good manager. It's just that he's the type of manager that falls out of the board. And generally speaking, that's just how he is. His personality is like that. So United can't have a manager that's going to fight with the board. We saw what happened to Amarim. Seen what happened to Jose Mourinho. We've seen what happened to Van when managers are questioning the higher ups, particularly the Glazers, they tend to see the door. And I don't think United can go through a stage where we are chopping and changing managers. We need to find one now. But about Spurs, I think Spurs has it's interesting because some people will say that they have the players to be able to play the De Zerbi style, particularly if he's going to go for 5 at the back sometimes. But I know he likes to play a more attacking style of football than maybe a 5 at the back. But I'm saying Spurs' setup is currently for that. I feel they're probably their best formation will probably be having 5 at the back. But even though they might play more with a 4, but it's going to be interesting. It took them long, but he has a certain mentality and a certain style, and that he wants to play. It depends on if he can make if he has a chance to make the signings that he needs to be able to implement that at Spurs, which is going to be very interesting. But if they get relegated with him in, it would be quite interesting to see what the fan base will do and what the reaction will be to that. I know Zia will probably be very happy if they do.
There's no relegation clause as well, so that's going to be a proper payout. We saw Liam Rassinier last week got a 24 million payout. for being sacked at Chelsea. So I think that managers know the playbook these days. They know how to sort of play the system. And if he gets relegated, he's probably going to be like, "Peace, I'm not managing in the championship. Give me my money, and I'm going to be on my way."
What a waste
But
of
yeah,
money at Chelsea. Yo.
it's crazy. It's crazy. I saw this morning. I could be incorrect, but I think I saw on Twitter that Tom Solanke, he's out for the rest of the season. So it's just like one thing after the next at Spurs, man. Like it seems like they just can't catch a break. Lauren, I'm not sure if you were catching any of the relegation scrap over the weekend. I was switching between West Ham and Spurs. It felt like a final day. Like a final day vibe. It felt like, okay, one team is scoring. Okay, crap, go to the other one. What's happening there? And then West Ham take the lead, and then Spurs go back into 18th. Nunes seems like he's finally hitting his stride over at West Ham.
I didn't manage to catch much football this past weekend. I was just out of town for a bit. I caught a little bit of our Palace fixture. But I've been watching Spurs over the season, and I've been watching a lot of expressions as rants as well. And I personally, okay, it's all good and banter and all of that. But I don't want to see Spurs go down. I'd like them to stay in the Premier League. It may also be one of the most outrageous finishes to the league, having Arsenal win it and their direct rivals being relegated in the same season. I think we are spoiled for entertainment. And the Premier League really is like delivering. Whenever we say every season, oh no, it cannot get better than the season that we've just had. Boom, we get another blockbuster, and that's been the season in the Prem. As far as Spurs goes, I do feel for them. I know it's incredibly difficult to claw your way back into the Premier League again. There is some clause I saw in post watching some YouTube clips and seeing sort of what it really entails to be relegated. They do get a small percentage payout from the Premier League, but I mean, you lose players' contracts get triggered, managers' contracts if that is in place gets triggered, sponsorships get triggered. They built this incredible stadium. So it's going to be a massive blow for Tottenham if they do go down. I think it was this week past as well that we saw Leicester get relegated, and I mean it was 10 years ago, 2015. Was it the year that they won the 2015 they won the league, but they've obviously been plagued with so much owner passing away and losing all their players, and Vardy couldn't carry things himself. But I mean, back to Spurs, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what is going on there. I don't think their own fans can even believe what has happened. But it does tend to get a little touch and go towards the end. Let's look at Everton last season as well. Every game is a cup final when you're playing to stay in the Premier League. It is hugely important to not go down. So you'll be going to be seeing it on both ends of the table in the next few days, in the next few game weeks. My apologies.
I'm just gonna put you on the spot right now. If you were to call the final relegation spot, who are you calling? Spurs, West Ham? I think Forest seems to have made some sort of space for themselves. So West Ham, Spurs. Who are you calling?
I mean, looking at the table as it stands, Spurs 34, West Ham 36, Forest 39. They've all played 34 games. I think West Ham are going to pip Spurs. I think they may be going down. Forest they've got 3 points, but it can also go really sideways. I don't know what their fixtures look like. The next 4 games look like. But the weekend win for Spurs was really important because you just want to get that momentum of just feeling what it feels like to actually win a game. You've pointed out it's their first calendar win of 2026. I think the stats have like the unfortunate negative stats has been so bad for them. and they definitely want to stay in the Premier League. You don't want to go down. It's treacherous dropping off into the Championship. And yeah, it's going to make for a blockbuster finish. Their direct rivals Arsenal right up there, trying to win the league, and they're fighting for their lives. This is a cutthroat league. It's blockbuster.
Yeah, that's why the Premier League is known as one of the best leagues in the world. We have RTV in the chat. Spurs injuries and lack of discipline at times has ruined their season. And yeah, I mean, we spoke about this last season when Arsenal were going through injuries. Like you have a squad, you have to find a way to use the entire squad for the duration of the season. I mean, every team gets injuries. Every team has all of these suspensions and all of those things. You have a full squad. Time to make them earn their money. Lauren, before we get into our preview, I'm just going to touch on the Liverpool Crystal Palace game over the weekend. It seemed to be going well for you guys. Freddie Woodman sort of had a injury at that point. Daniel Munoz saw a sort of gap for him to just score one. What's your view on that? I saw a lot of people were slaughtering Munoz online just for like kicking the ball into the net when the goalkeeper was down. I'd like to sort of get your thoughts on that.
It's a goal. It's clear. We only stopped the games for head injuries. It looked freak on the replay with the knee and all of that, and him immediately going down, and the players stopping playing. The whistle not going, but I mean that's a goal. I wasn't going to fight that. I don't also want to be diminished to a level where we're going to nitpick and really moan about decisions like that. We expected when we're moving forward, I've seen it many times. We watch games at the clubhouse or I'm watching a game and the opposition, it's the same thing happens to them, and we just keep on playing. We expect our players to handle those situations that way. Play to the whistle. It's not head injury. The referee didn't blow. Keep going. It's just one of those things. I'm not too. I don't want to be too nitpicky on that, because then it just opens up a whole other host of do you stop games for this and are you gentlemen like that you see that a lot in teams. It is the sort of the prerogative of the team in possession when it comes to small things like that. So it was up to Palace that if they wanted to stop it, they could. They chose not to and move on.
Yeah, you guys ended with a 3-1 victory. Florian Wirtz scored a really good goal over there. It seems like he's hitting his stride finally in the Premier League. But a better moment of the game is seeing Mo Salah going off. And could that be the final game that he's played in a Liverpool shirt? It looked pretty bad.
It did. He pulled up his hammy. He pulled up in that game. That must have been around, I think it was around 55, 65, around there, if memory serves me. I don't think it's his last game. He's a freak of note. We all have seen the longevity of Mo and 20 plus seasons that he's been dishing out, the one-hit wonder, as they called him, after that first season. So I don't think it's Salah's last game. I think you'll see him this weekend, this Sunday at Old Trafford. He loves playing against United, more on the reverse home fixture. I think they just need to doctor him as much as they can. I want to see as much of Mo, because I got that small snippet of the entire Anfield just giving him that round of applause, and it slapped me immediately. I was like, geez, this is real, because he did that slow walk off, looked up to the crowd, sort of thanked everybody for the standing ovation as he came off. But I don't think it's the last time you see him. I wouldn't bank on you not having him at Old Trafford. I think he's starting this weekend against United. Wishful, hopeful thinking.
I heard
he's not.
Sorry?
30 Liverpool just posted 30 minutes ago on their website that he will be available to play again before
Okay.
the end of the season, but it's unlikely that he's available this weekend. And there's a comment in the chat also saying Khalid's relieved because he won't be playing. I mean, at
Harley just
best he'll be on the
celebrated.
bench. Yeah, at best I think he'll be on the bench, but it looks likely
Yeah,
he'll miss 1 to 2 games with a minor muscle injury. They haven't said which muscle, but like you guys were saying, it's probably hamstring. So you're
hamstring.
looking
Yeah.
at 1 to 2 weeks that he'll probably miss.
Yeah, it really like the way the whole entire narrative played out was it seemed like it was him saying farewell to the Liverpool fans. And I mean even the referee, the ref audio, I can't remember who was the referee over the weekend. I think it might have been Jared Gillett or somebody like that. He went up to Mo and he basically just told him if he doesn't see him again until the end of the season, it's been an honor, it's been a pleasure, and all the best
Wow.
for his future. So it just shows the impact that Mo Salah's had on the Premier League. He's been a very important cog in the machine of the Premier League, and uh, one of the reasons why it's sort of marketed or punted out there as one of the best leagues in the world because he's one of the best players that's existed over the past sort of 10 years. So yeah, it's no surprise that the referees sort of show their appreciation to him as well. Khalid, I just saw you doing a bit of a celebration over there, knowing now that Mo Salah might not play over the weekend. A lot of horrific memories, I know, being a United fan myself. Before we get into that preview, just talk to me through Monday night. Was that a gritty win that you would have wanted to see from United after being under Amorim for so long, seeing us like playing well for like parts of the game, but then not seeing out the victory at the end of it. Whereas this one, we played well in portions as well, but we managed to. Our defensive display was really good on Monday night. But yeah, we managed to see out the game and get the 3 points.
Yeah. Firstly, I just want to say about Mo Salah. Like, yes, I don't. I've never been a fan of Mo Salah specifically, but I never would want to see a player get injured. And yes, I celebrated the fact that he's not going to play,
Yeah,
but it's not good to see any player get injured in the Premier League, regardless of who they are. And also, if this is going to be the end of his Liverpool, like the end of his Liverpool career, this injury, because you don't know, hamstrings can be very long time. You don't know. It can be months. It can be weeks. You don't know. And it's a bit of a shame, I feel, for a legend of Liverpool. I think that he is one of the best players that played for Liverpool in the history. And to see his career end like that wouldn't be a nice thing. But I'm happy not to have him on the pitch because, I mean, I've got nightmares. I mean, I'll never go into I'll never go into Tiger's Milk in Santo never again because someone invited me to go watch. Someone invited me to come and watch the Liverpool United game there a couple of years ago when we got battered 7-0. So, like, and it's a Liverpool fan, and I'm sitting the opposite her, and she's just like, nah, she was like gleeful about it. And I'm sitting with another Man United fan and another Liverpool fan. And yeah, it was a terrible experience. I had to like still walk back to the hotel afterwards. And I'm just like, egg. I don't want to speak to anybody. So Mo Salah's giving me bad memories, like over the nightmares actually. So yeah. Sorry, I know I'm taking the spot here to talk a lot. As you know from the previous shows, I can't help myself. But look here,
yeah,
with
go for
the
it.
with regards to the match, I'm very happy that we beat Brentford because we struggle against them. All the time we've struggled against them over the last few years now. Janssen always scores against us, or Jensen always scores against
Yeah.
us, and he did it again. But I was a bit worried with the way the match was, like a basketball match at first half. Up and down constantly. Like, it was a bit worrying to me. That midfield still bothers me. And against Liverpool, that's going to bother me because we need to. Because I feel that I don't think it was the midfielders that were selected that were the problem. Actually, I think Casemiro had a great game, and I think that Manu had a great game. But I think why we got run through like that is because of someone that I dislike at Man United. I'm supposed to like all Man United players, but this player just gets under my skin, and it's Delo. So Delo on the one side, not tightening his linemen coming in next to the midfielders to protect the midfield a little bit more. I think our fullbacks need to come in a little bit more. What ends up happening is that Luke Shaw tucks in, but he doesn't have the legs like he used to have. So we always see him running back and then fouling a player because he just can't do that that transitions well. He doesn't cover the transition well. So that's my concern, is that midfield of Liverpool is very tricky to play against. They've got a good cohesion over there, and Wirtz is one of my favorite players. Before he went to Liverpool, he was one of my favorite young players. He scares me, and Isak scares me, and there's a lot of players in that Liverpool team that scares me. But the interesting thing for me is going to be what Michael Carrick's going to do, because to shore up that game, he changed to a back five in the second half.
Yeah,
and that was a key factor, I think, to us controlling the game towards the end defensively. So I don't know how Michael Carrick's going to start the game. Is he going to play a 5, or is he going to go with the same 4-3-3 type of system that he goes with in other matches? I mean, Mbeumo, it's about time that he comes back on form again. He scored in the last game against Liverpool. Hopefully he can do it again. Šeško's in good form. That's brilliant. Bruno's Bruno. And Ahmad needs a game, because I think I saw United post about Cunha. They did say that that's not a serious one, but they're not 100% sure. I'm not sure if he will be available fully to play a full 90 minutes. And then we got Dorgo's back on the bench again. I think if he's fit, he needs to play. And I think Mazarawi needs to play on the right instead of Delo, in my opinion, personally. So yes, Brentford was a good win. It's a much needed win, but there's still concerns, particularly in the midfield for me, from a United perspective, that worries me.
yeah, no, like I fully agree with you about Dalo. I think that he's definitely the weak link, and that's probably the spot that Liverpool's going to be targeting over the weekend. I think we might as well just get into the preview now, seeing that we are getting to that portion. Lauren, we have Lauren back again after some technical difficulty over there. Lauren, is it correct that both Khalid and I are speaking about the low being a weakness that Liverpool could try to target?
For sure. We have our own weakness. If for lack of technical analysis, we're only playing and fighting ourselves. We've been doing it the entire season. The United game is going to be very, very tricky. We've not had good results there in the last maybe 5 seasons. I can't remember the last time we won there. Must have been maybe 2020, 2021, 2022, somewhere around there. Old Trafford it really does get under our skin. It affects me mentally. I'm scarred. Old Trafford has scarred me over the last 20, 30 years that I've been a supporter. I think their fans are really going to get behind them. The team is going to come out performing. And it's going to require a lot of us. We have to get tactically. I don't even want to say our manager's name, because you know how I feel about him, but he has to get everything right for us to actually try and pip them in this fixture. They are 3 points ahead of us. We can win 1-0 and we can go third in the league. It's not going to be easy for us at all. I think United, this is probably going to be the most difficult United that we've faced in a while. This isn't Ragnick, this isn't Amorim, and they are a little bit more composed as we remember them. They're not all over the place. Defensively, much better this season than previous. In transitional play, they look really good. Their new signings, if on the day, come Sunday, they want to turn up, they can absolutely make life horrific for us. That right back spot for us has always been a pain since Trent has left. I think Curtis Jones in that position on the weekend against Palace worked. It's not a permanent solution. I'm not sure what he's going to do. If he's going to go with Robbo or Kirkes, our two centre backs in the mid, and then just try and get Zoboszlai back up to that natural position. Vert scored a really important goal off a nice McAllister layoff on the weekend. So it's all really to play for. I think, as I've mentioned, backstage, is that this is going to be one of the most exciting fixtures we've had in a while. And we always have great fixtures. Families are split through the middle. Friends are split through the middle. Cape Town is split through the middle. It's an electrifying fixture. And all roads lead to Sunday at Old Trafford.
Yeah, I mean, take me home, United Road. Lauren, you basically told me like last week that you have a lot on your mind that you want to get off your chest. You have a lot to vent in terms of Arne Slot. So you have a platform now to speak your mind, to say whatever you need to, whether it's about Slot having Cody Gakpo as the first name on any of his lists, whether it's Cody Gakpo in his will. Yeah, the floor is yours to say as much as you want about Arne Slot.
Hey,
And we lost Lauren. The guy,
but I'm surprised that he's not. I mean, I'm not actually surprised. I've seen a narrative about Liverpool fans. I mean, I don't know if you guys watched the fan debate today from Gary Neville on the overlap. They were talking about Liverpool. And I was surprised actually at how many fans have turned on Slot from a Liverpool perspective. I mean,
yeah,
I thought you'd get maybe a season grace. So I'm interested to hear what Lauren has to say, because a lot of Liverpool fans have turned on Slot already. I was surprised by that, hearing that. So I'm interested to hear his take.
Lauren, are you back? Are you here? Maybe not. Technical difficulties. Okay, Ziad, seeing that you haven't spoken in a while, let's get your perspective on Liverpool during this preview.
I thought Liverpool were trending up. I went with Isak over the weekend in my FPL. I had a feeling he was going to get on the score sheet. So things are looking better for them, I think, going forward. It's going to be a close encounter because United are doing enough to get points at the moment. Obviously, they one position above on the log. So it's going to be interesting from that perspective. But I think Liverpool are doing well with what they have available. I mean, they've had players come in and out through injury. It's been difficult. But I think they're kind of rallying together here to end the season strong. Isak's looking good, like you were saying earlier with Florian Wirtz. He's starting to look a bit better. So Harley was talking about the midfield earlier, and I think that's the area to watch, and that's where this game is going to really be fought out. Where whichever midfield is going to get the better of the opposition on the day, I think that's going to lead to better chances being created, and ultimately the winner coming from whoever dominates that midfield area. And Liverpool to slightly have the edge. Although Casemiro's the one scoring all the goals, but I think Liverpool have a bit more technical ability and quality in that midfield area. So it is looking quite good for them going towards the back end of the season here, in my opinion.
Do you know what will be the best thing for me when we play this game? Is to see Casemiro tower above Van Dijk and put one in the top corner with his head. That would be satisfying for me.
This guy
You're
is a proper
manifesting it.
United fan.
You're talking it into existence here.
Lauren, are you back with us?
I'm so sorry. I don't know what's going on with my connection, but I am back. The only last bit I caught was Casemiro towering Virgil van Dijk to score a goal past him. That old man. I know Virgil's got some years on him, but yeah. When I think of towering, I always think of Virgil scoring against United, and that little jump, and he gives that little yes, and then he looks straight at the Old Trafford faithful. That's more what I think is going to happen this come this Sunday.
Lauren, before you disconnected, I gave you the floor to vent about Arne Slot. So whatever you need to say, you can get it off your chest right now.
This man has split our fan base down the middle. There are people who are still for him and that still want to see him at the helms, but he's shown me enough for me to know that he isn't Liverpool FC quality. And this isn't just because we are so in love with Klopp and Klopp bringing us back into the limelight again, giving us a title after 30 years, giving us a Champions League, winning everything under the sun, creating this amazing bunch of players, fixing so much that was wrong. People tend to forget that we had so much from a board level through to the way that we trained. I mean, Klopp arrived post Brendan Rodgers, and I mean, we had injuries up until our next pick. That's just off training. People tend to forget also that it was Klopp's team that won the league last season. We've been the worst champions, and I have to apologize to Arsenal
I'm
as
gonna
well.
jump in here quickly because I want you to explain this to me because I don't understand it. Klopp's team that won it, but when Klopp had that team, he didn't win it. So how can it be his team that won it? That's what I don't understand. Everyone keeps saying Klopp's team won it, but Klopp is gone, and the new guy came in and he won it with the team. Because if they were so good, why didn't they win when in Klopp's last season? So if you can explain that to me, because I just don't get that
It was a
argument.
completely different. It was a completely different season. I mean, he had the set of players. He didn't win the league that season, but it's chalk and cheese between the two. Comparing the team in the league in the season that Klopp was there, and taking that same team and purely just refining it, not making massive changes. Look at what Arne has done now. He's brought in the players that he wants. He spent 500 trillion pounds to build this team that he thinks is the right team. Not finding
That's also an
not
assumption,
finding
right? Because Liverpool brought in Michael Edwards again, and we know that professional modern football teams, they don't just sign the players that the coach wants. It's often a technical team or football directors or whatever that are signing players. So there's nothing that has come out where it said specifically slot us with these 5 players, whatever the case is. So I personally feel it's a bit harsh to throw it all on him for those reasons. But
and that's how most of our
yeah, he
rival
hasn't
fans
done
actually
well this
feel.
season. Fair enough. But
Our
I mean,
rival
look at
fans
Chelsea.
feel
They
that
signed
way.
a million players. It's not like the coach asked for that players. Even United, for that matter, you don't always get the players you want. It's the technical director. So is it then not FSG and the guys above him that are giving him these players? Like, whose idea was it to sign
FSG
Isak
has
and
the transfer
Iketike when
policies.
one was enough?
FSG has the transfer policies in place. That's why you see the likes of Luis Diaz not being renewed and being sent off to Bayern, and us giving Cody Gakpo. But funny enough, I find a lot of rival fans sort of fighting for slot. That's weird. Because we at the club, like, you're not gonna find me. Like, okay, I remember the years of Ole at the wheel and the banter of, let's keep Ole Gunnar Solskjaer there because the team isn't doing too well. But I mean, for you to go and say it's not all on Slot's watch with regard to what happened this season, the players that he brought in, the
No, I'm not saying that. You're
pushing
getting me wrong here. He
the
obviously,
player management of and losing the dressing room, how we handled Mohamed Salah. I mean, there's Slot record is the worst run record in since an extremely long time. I think I did a few checks here. I mean, 15 plus losses this season, worse than Brendan Rodgers. This has been the worst title defense. I mean, look at the amount of points that Arsenal's on. The previous seasons, to win the league, you needed to be in 80 plus, 90 plus points to win the league. So
I'm not
so,
for Slot
I
and I'm
see a
not
lot of
against him.
fans
All I'm
saying,
asking is
putting up points and
what
saying, Arne Slot, it's not his fault, but it's extremely strange coming from rival fans that don't watch what we do week in, week out. And when I say don't watch, I mean it as in following what the players are doing, following transfers, following how the Mohamed Salah saga was handled. The fact that he even snubbed Salah in that, I'm just trying to think of that It was the first fixture where he brought on Train Yoni. I mean, the guy obviously has an issue with him, and I mean, it's highly unprofessional. He's also hindering Rio's future by just throwing the kitchen sink in the sense of Rio when things aren't going well. Zoboslai has had to step in quite a bit. Sorry, man, you threw me off with. I just wanted to purely rant about what it's like to have been under Slot this season. The substitutions, the 90-minute plus goals that we've conceded. 9 losses in 12 games, lost 12. That heavy loss against Manchester City in the FA Cup, getting battered. I mean, I'm not a fan of Arne Slot. I wasn't a fan of him after the first season. You can ask anybody that does know me. I said I'm still waiting for him to prove himself, because that was a Ferrari that he was left. And you can say, Klopp didn't win it in the season, but he got left the Ferrari. It's a proper tight team. And he changed so much on that, with particularly the spine of the team. And it's sad in a sense that, he if you look at the last few games as well, he's been so animated on the touchline, and he keeps being given a lifeline. We'll go in a massive slump, and then we'll lose a few games, or we'll draw a few games, and the results won't be desirable. And then the spotlight comes on him again. It's just the same rigmarole over and over. The same thing that Kenny did with trying to 2012, 2013, when he tried to turn us into an all-British team again. Henderson and Joe Allen and Joe Cole and all those players that we brought in. I know Slot does love the Dutchman and players that's played under him at Feyenoord and all of that. But I don't think his style suits us. And I don't think he's been given the green light for the next season. And I'm happy to wait him out. I've waited out managers from 1995 already. So I've seen them come, I've seen them go, and I'm ready for Slot to make his departure when he does.
My thing is, there was a lot of players though that I'm not for against Slot either. I was just interested to see that, after manager wins a league, normally they get in maybe a little bit extra time. But I get your points, because, like, for example, the Salah thing. What I could understand, the few games that I did watch from Liverpool at the beginning of the season, why everything was going down Gakpo's flank, like every attack. Like Salah was just standing there chilling. Like that was weird for me. Because, I mean, Salah being who Salah is, I don't think the whole Salah situation is all fully on Slot. It's also because of the way Liverpool, I thought, dealt with the Liverpool hierarchy, dealt with him. Should have given him a proper contract. He deserved it. I mean, the guy was a machine for Liverpool.
They did give him 2 years, eh? They gave him a 2-year add-on, and to Ziad's point is that FSG has this very strict policy when it comes to the age of players as well. That's why, I mean, Luis Diaz was on the older side. He was. And that's why, and he wanted more money, and we chose to release him rather, and we gave Cody Gakpo the $250 a week he wanted. Yeah. Sorry, you were saying.
So Salah money-wise, man, I'm talking about, like, that should have matched what he wanted. Yeah, that's what I meant from a money perspective. Like, he was obviously looking for more money. I mean, and not necessarily greedily. I felt that he felt that he deserves to earn what other big players in the Premier League are earning at other clubs. Like,
not only even in the Premier League, like globally.
And in the world. Huh?
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't hear that.
No. I was saying, like, globally. Globally, he probably felt like he should be on that top tier bracket of wages. And
exactly.
He's
not only in the Premier
within
League.
his right to feel that way. Yeah.
So, like, that factor is, I think that, I mean, Liverpool have a lot of new players there, especially in attack, that need to learn to gel together as well. I mean, I'm talking now from a United perspective, when we've signed new players and how long it took for them to gel, because we've been terrible for a long time now. So I'm quite familiar with how long it takes for certain players to click with others and get familiar and all of that type of stuff. But because when you sign a player like Wirtz, because I've been tracking his career for his junior career. I watched him under 20s for Germany and all of that. And when he started playing for Germany's first team at such a young age. Also, I saw him at his previous club play a little bit. I've been a big fan of him before. I wanted him at United, to be honest with you. But he's the type of player that likes that pockets and to control games and stuff like that, where you kind of have to switch your entire game style almost if you want to fit him in a way. You can't play that heavy metal football like you play under Klopp if you want Wirtz to be your guy, that the attacks come through. And also midfield wise, I mean, you want your main guys like your Gravenbergs and stuff to be fit all season and stuff like that as well. And those type of things is important too. But I don't know what happened with the players. I don't know if they maybe, because I saw what it did to United when Ronaldo was unhappy. What it does to the people around you when a player is unhappy of that caliber. So I don't know if that affected the way Salah was feeling, was affecting the team ethos and the dressing room as well. Especially if because we saw he was brave enough, which I was heavily against, by the way. The one thing I was against from Salah is him coming out and speaking about the situation like that publicly, right? And I don't know if him in the dress, if he could do that publicly, what was he saying behind closed doors about Slot? Because I mean, with his caliber, was that affecting the players maybe throughout the season? Do you think, Lauren? I don't know, but I think maybe that could be a factor. I don't know.
Great points, really great points. I'm with you on that as well. I also didn't like that. I think it was a private Sky interview. It wasn't even through the club. It was a full sort of expose, a hot mic drop for Mo. And let's be honest, he does throw his toys. He has many times before he's come out and he's thrown his toys. And it may have affected players. If you just look at Liverpool this season and things not going right, there is no identity. Slot has no clue what to do with the team. He, for me, I'm telling you, this guy does not know what to do with his team. He rode the coattail of this wonderful team that was left behind. They've given him a bag of cash. Hey, here's a great kitty for you. Bringing back good management. And okay, this is what we're going to do. We managed to wildly get Ekitike before we landed Isak. That was also an insane transfer saga to have gone through, and then Isak picking up that injury, and all of a sudden we've got too many strikers, or we've got too many wingers, or we've got too many attacking midfielders. I've just noticed players dropping under Slot, players that are really world-class players, even Konate. They've given him a new deal. I'm very glad for that. But the jury's out. There are lots of Liverpool fans and that have the same view as Ziad has, with he just needs more time, and we throw him under the bus, and it's not him. And then
that's not even what I said. I just asked you to explain your angle. I don't have that view. You make a lot of assumptions. I don't have any views about Slot, out, and I actually don't even care about Slot per se.
Oh, you seem
I just don't understand.
Passionate about Slot. So
what Khalid was saying. I also thought that if you win the league, which everyone makes out to be this big deal, not even a few months after you win the league, you want the coach out. So that's all I wanted to understand.
So it wasn't
because that is the part that doesn't make sense to me. I understand he hasn't done the management stuff well. Tactically, he's made a couple of mistakes. Obviously, this season you can see by the log position. If it was working, Liverpool would be on the top, right? So
then maybe it's
I'm coming from the coaching perspective. That's what I wanted to understand.
Perhaps it's your ambition as a club. For us to have won the league the way we did, to have dropped that far off that PSV game in the Champions League. So you're already so far ahead in the season. You've won the league before. You must move forward from there. I'm completely with our fan base, holding Slot accountable and not allowing that tempo and that class to drop off. Are we supposed to now sit back because the rest of the league and the rivals are like, oh no, you won the league before, so you've bought new players, so you must give it 2-3 year transition. You don't. You've got your finger on the pulse. You've got to stay there. You've got to you can't let off on the accelerator pedal. You've got to keep going. And that's why a good amount of fans have felt really hard done by with regards to what has happened this season. It's been a disaster. I've spoken to many Arsenal guys. I've said, I apologize to you guys. We've been the worst defending champions ever. I mean, we've had the worst season. And sorry?
Yeah, I was just gonna step in right now. I don't think it's been a disaster. I think it's not been at the same level that you guys have been experiencing for the past few seasons, but I don't think it's been a disaster. The fact that you guys are basically one win away from being third in the Premier League. Yes, you're not challenging for the title, but at the end of the day, it's a new manager. He's gonna rebuild the team in his image. The Klopp era was never ever going to last past Jurgen Klopp being there. Arne Slot comes in, he has the same team that Klopp has, yes, but the manager still has to try and get that team to win. It's like if he wasn't there, the team was never gonna, like, what was gonna happen then? The manager still needs to do what they need to do. He still needs to galvanize the team. They still need to work towards a certain goal, and that's what he did. He knew what players he had at his disposal, and at the end of the season, Darwin Núñez left. Luis Diaz left. He lost like these. Okay, not that Darwin Núñez was a key player, but he scored crucial goals under Klopp as well. Luis Diaz, he was becoming that crucial player. He also scored clutch goals for you guys. He's having an amazing season at Bayern Munich this season. But at the end of the day, Arne Slot didn't see that for his future team. He wanted Alexander Isak. He wanted Florian Wirtz. He wanted Milos Kerkez, who was the best left back in the Premier League last season. He brought in Frimpong as well, was regarded as one of the best right backs in the Bundesliga. So he brought all of these guys in. They need to get up to speed with the Premier League now. As the season is ending, you can see a lot of them, their performances are starting to get better as well. And I think that with Slot starting next season off, you're going to see a completely different Liverpool team. The same crop of players that haven't been performing well this season, you're going to see them in a completely different light next season, because they've had this time to sort of acclimatize to the Premier League, to be gelling with the new players. I saw RTV in the chat earlier also said that Klopp brought in a whole new midfield at one point, and they only started to gel in the second season. So I think that a lot of supporters, yes, like I should be the last one to talk, because there was a point where I was losing patience with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, but he was also at the club for a couple of years at that point. Whereas you guys won the league already, and then halfway through the season, a lot of Liverpool fans started getting impatient with this guy. I think just give him more time. I think starting of next season, if by midpoint next season he's still in the same boat, then you guys get to sort of have a voice. But he brought basically a new starting 11. They are acclimatizing to the Premier League, and I think that you guys need to give time. You guys need to be patient with him, and I think the fortunes will change next season.
Losing Jota as well, eh? That's also
That was a huge mental thing on the team.
Yeah. We had to deal with quite a bit actually, Slot. I'm not defending him necessarily because I don't want Liverpool to be good, obviously. I'm just trying to talk from a neutral space here. Because I love it when Liverpool are not doing well, of course. But I mean, yeah, at the end of the day, it's weird. I'm just used to Liverpool fans, generally speaking. That's why I was interested to hear what Arne had to say, because it's an interesting point of view. Because I'm used to Liverpool fans being very invested in, like, backing the manager no matter what. Kind of similarly to United. We back our managers till the last. Very seldomly do we turn on the manager. Unlike Arsenal fans who wanted Arteta out and in and out and in. You know, like we No, but with United, like with Liverpool, I was surprised that there are so many so soon after one season.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Just gonna finish off the preview now after we sort of diverted down that Arne slot rant pathway. Ziad, win or lose, where do you think this game is going to be won or lost, and from which team? Who do you think is going to have the biggest impact on this game over the weekend?
I'd say that's probably going to be the midfield. So you're looking at Flurry and Wirtz probably to step up. I think Liverpool win. Um, it could be. I mean, like I said, I like they look to be trending up. So it could suit them making United play because United's at home, and we saw United generally like to counter, so they like to use that pace and hit you on the counter. And I think Liverpool actually come out on top here. So I'd probably say 2-1 Liverpool.
Sure.
Nice.
Yeah. You can't invite me on your show for the first time and then make a prediction like that. Yo.
Khalid, let's
I almost
listen to
didn't
what
invite
you're
you,
gonna
man.
say. Khalid, what are your thoughts? Where do you think the game is going to be won and lost? Give me your
100%.
prediction. And do you think this is the game that Bruno Fernandes might get that assist record?
Yo, that changes the whole game automatically there. Look at this team. In the big matches so far, we've turned up, and it's at Old Trafford. I'm a little bit worried about injury concerns that's bothering me. So like Cunha, I wonder if he's available. That's going to be a big thing because I think he would be a big player for us because Ahmad is not looking that great at the moment. He's circling a bit or struggling a bit in translation there. And then with regards to the midfield, it's not necessarily the midfield too per se that I'm worried about more than the supporters around him. Like I feel that if the low plays, he doesn't offer the support when he tucks in like he should as a fullback on the defense on the counter particularly. And I think that's where things and Luke Shaw, like I said, on the transitions, he doesn't get back fast enough. He doesn't support that midfield, and then he fouls players when he doesn't need to foul them because he can't get back anymore like he used to.
Luke Shaw
So
is injured now. I think he's injured until the end of the season. Yeah.
Oh, flip! I missed that.
So it's probably,
Oh,
but
well,
Dogu's back now. So
hopefully,
timing, I guess.
if Dogo plays, then I'm in a whole different ball game because that guy works his socks off. He might not be the best on attack, but he works his socks off. He's quick. He's strong. So if they can offer that Mainu support, Mainu and also who we're going to play in centre back is going to be key because I mean Martinez is still suspended. So Aiden Evans looking really good, but he still has that naivety in him, that youngness in him, where he wants to, sometimes he maybe just, how can I say, he attacks he goes forward sometimes when he maybe doesn't need to because he trusts his ability. Yoro has a mistake in him or two, so that's going to be interesting what they're going to do there. Yeah, I agree with RTV there. He's a bit rash, Evan. So I'm a bit worried about that pairing. So but for me, like Ziad said, I believe that the game's going to be won in that midfield. If we need to, at least, I think Mazarawi needs to play for me, and he needs to be able to support Casemiro and at least cover them, because if they get outrun, at least there's cover for them on the transitions, because the way Liverpool can pass through the lines with Wirtz and them, they've got some pace in the team as well. That strikers, they're proper. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting game. Of course, it's going to always be an exciting game with the fans. The fans are going to be up for it. But I'm going to go with a United win 2-1 in this one.
That's fair. I love it. I love the optimism there. Let's see if Lauren is back. Lauren, can you hear us?
Yeah, can hear you all good.
Okay, Lauren, you're going to give us a prediction there?
Sure. I think it's either going to be a very good game for us, or it's going to go spectacularly wrong, as we've seen this season with Slot. I'm hoping we are as the outstanding is trending up. Old Trafford's always going to be a very, very difficult place to go to. The 12th man, and particularly, I think everything is going to work around Bruno Fernandes. He has such an ability against us, and he is that one assist away from that all-time record. We're going to have to be really tidy at the back. I'm unsure who's going to come in at a goalkeeper capacity, if it's going to be our new boy that got a standing ovation from Becca on the weekend, or if it's going to be Mohamedashvili. I do think that it's going to be incredibly tough without Mo. I'm hoping we can keep Wirtz in that real attacking through that center. I find if McAllister really plays well, the team tends to tick quite nicely. Cody Gakpo most likely will start again. It's going to be very, very tough. I think we should be able to pull this off if we have the right mentality and mindset, and if we can just push for that beautiful third spot. It's the best we can do this season. I'm going for 3-1 Liverpool.
Ooh. Nice.
I was also going to say 3-1, but after hearing about how Slot is terrible, I took a goal off and made it 2-1. So even with all that, I'm leaning also towards, I'll say 2.5-1. Can I go over 2?
I'm just gonna go with a draw. I'm gonna be the boring one over here. I'm gonna go with goals. I'm gonna go with 2-2 draw. And I think Bruno will equal the record this weekend. So you won't get the record yet. You'll equal Henry and Kevin De Bruyne. You'll get to 20. But yeah, I think just like that, it's just gonna be a point apiece, and it's going to be the last 3 games that's sort of going to determine where both of these teams go in the final rankings of the Premier League. But yeah, I think at the end of it all, it's still going to be an entertaining one. And I think whoever comes in for those centre-back spots for United, that's going to be very telling on the result of this game. But yeah, that is all for us today. A nice little rant in there that we don't normally get on our weekly episodes, but it was good to have that one. Khalid, thank you so much for joining us on your debut, the first of many, I hope. Where can the people find you, and what have you got in the pipeline for things on Cricket Fanatic Mags, and whatever else you are doing?
Yeah, so you can find me at Khalid Moin on most platforms, I think. I'm not really very active on social media from a personal perspective, but you can follow Cricket Fanatics magazine on all platforms. We did start a new show recently that airs on a Monday evening. It's a CFM Weekly, and we bring on guests, and we have a fan section where fans can call in and have their say. They can argue with me. They can give me a complaint about Cricket South Africa or players, whatever they want to. So it's your platform to be able to do so. And yeah, we have a weekly newsletter on every single Friday that comes out that you guys can subscribe to. And yeah, that's about it from my side with regards to new things. Thank you for having me as well. I enjoyed it a hell of a lot. It's nice to speak about something else than cricket for change. So, and about my team, I love it. So thanks.
I love it. Thanks for coming through. Lauren, your side, where can the people find you? Thank you so much for joining us tonight.
FNZR, thanks for having me on your show. We are at the clubhouse, Mitchell's Brewery, Sunday. We've invited the Old Trafford faithfuls to come through as well, so we can get a nice little cheers going. The banter's always great between fans. It never becomes anything more than that. It's just nice and lively. So we will be there from kickoff is 4:30. We'll be there from 2 p.m. onwards. We have a couple of TikTokers that does some lives from there as well. It's a super sport bar, so we will have some interviews going there as well. We also have merchandise and good specials on the day. We give away shirts and we run little competitions. So it's not too late on a Sunday. So 4:30 is the kickoff. We are at Mitchell's Brewery with LFC Cape Town. You can follow LFC_Cape Town on Twitter, on TikTok, on Instagram. And we're looking forward to a really, really great fixture come Sunday. It's gonna be so good.
Love that. Love that. Siad, same old question every week, but what have you got in the pipeline? Where can the people find you?
Now, before that, I think actually what Lauren saying was quite interesting. And Alan Shearer also said something like that recently, where if you are in England, you can't have an event where you have the two rival fans watching the game together. But when you're
True.
outside of England, you can actually have these types of events. So it's actually it's fun to be able to sit there and watch it with each other, like Liverpool United watching the game together. And like Lauren said, it doesn't go too far, man. And Shearer was saying they did a thing in the States where they had a Premier League fan fest, and it was very similar like that, trying to create some sort of vibe. But he said if we did that in England, the people would kill each other, not even before halftime.
Yeah.
They wouldn't make it. So it's fascinating because we all follow the Premier League and support it from different parts of the world, but we're still able to come together and actually be on the show together, talk together, watch a game
Yeah.
together without anyone taking it too far. So yeah, that's quite interesting. But yeah, then back to your question, the usual spot, you catch all the updates from the sporting world on Sportycast and all the platforms. Golf tomorrow, the Carrick Championship is going to be fun. It's a signature event. We saw some of the Formula One drivers also take part today in some commercial things with some of the top golfers. F1 is back this weekend, Miami. It's been forever. It feels like a
Yeah.
new season. There's some new regulations. So we've got the Miami Grand Prix coming this weekend. And then, yeah, I think that's NBA playoffs is happening. So teams are getting knocked out.
Ooh.
We're moving on to the more business end of the NBA. So lots happening in the world of sport other than just the football. So if you do want to get all those updates, just head over to Sportycast and I'll give you those updates on the daily.
Yeah, like Siad said, follow us at Sportycast on all social media platforms. Yeah, straightforward at Sportycast. Ziad updates those accounts with the latest news of the previous day every single day. So yeah, show some love, show some support. But yeah, press the like button on this video, share this video with everybody that you know. Your support means the world to us. We are making huge strides in terms of our community that we're trying to build. Thank you so much to everybody who showed up in the live chat today. Very much appreciated. Jason, RTV, Riaz was in here for a bit at the start as well. So yeah, thank you so much for all the support. And yeah, catch us next week, same time, 7 p.m. right here on the Facebook and YouTube channels. I'm AF4343, and we'll catch you guys again. Peace.